Viewers from around the multiverse, prepare to bask in unprecedented glory, because today, another ineffably epic video is about to commence. What will this video entail? Today we're going to be searching for stellar deals on Nintendo Switch video game launch. Without further ado, without further procrastination, without further delay, let's allow the frivolities to ensue, and let's allow the antics to commence. So simply go on eBay and type in Nintendo Switch video game loss. And subsequently click search, which unfortunately is obscured by this face cam from your perspective. Nonetheless, let's just move on and allow the search to be underway. So you can sort by newly listed or best match. I prefer best match for now. You can see that that's also blocked at the moment from your perspective by this shoddy face cam that's subpar relative to face cams of the modern era. Here we go, we have a bid for 9 Nintendo Switch games. As you can unequivocally see, you get a bunch of first party titles. You get Mario and Rabbids, Kingdom Battle, Fire Emblem Warriors, and perhaps this tiny barbarian video game may also possibly be a Nintendo Switch exclusive. I do not know, that is an enigma. You can verify that for yourself, but at least 2 of the 9 games are Nintendo Switch exclusives, and if somebody can buy these games for under $9, or actually under $11 each at this juncture, it seems to be a good deal relative to how much they initially retailed for. But for me, even if someone said to me, I'll give you the entirety of this lot for $100, it's definitely a must pass. But the winning bid is $94.75 when you take the shipment into account, so that's definitely a pass. Here we go. You get a Pro Controller and other Nintendo Switch games. You get ARMS. That game is characterized by insipid mediocrity. Fire Emblem Warriors, probably an RPG game. You get Pokken Tournament, DX. I have that game for the Nintendo Wii. I don't have the Extended Edition or Special Edition or Augmented Edition or Deluxe Edition or whatever the shell they call it. But yeah, I don't think that warrants an asking price of even $20. You also get the Super Bomberman game. Maybe that game is reminiscent to the previous Bomberman games released. I do not know. I'm not too much into turn-based games, so Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle wouldn't appease me very much, although a lot of other people deem it to be appealing. Street Fighter 2, the Ultra Edition, that's not very appealing either. The controls are intricate, complex, and they don't feel streamlined, which is a stark contrast to Super Smash Bros. For Wii U or Melee, which are much better fighting games in my opinion, because you could just pick them up and play them on the go, and you don't have to hone your skills per se unless you play at a competitive level, and you could easily execute any move you desire. In Street Fighter, you have to memorize the combos, your executions have to be perfect, your timing has to be flawless per se. You get 6 Nintendo Switch games. I believe you also get a Nintendo Switch in this lot. Oh, never mind. 6 games for 1 price. Yeah, what a blatant ripoff. 6 games for almost $6 each. You get a bit of a discount. I guess you're getting them for closer to what, 58, some 25 or something like that. Less than $2 off per game because you're buying them together, consolidated into one lot. Definitely a must pass. Who wants to lay all that money at a time? I'm just looking through these listings, perusing the virtual aisles of eBay, as I like to say, and all I can say is I'm eminently disappointed. I do want this game. I do think that it warrants hefty asking price. the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee game, and I would get Mario Tennis Aces if I had a Nintendo Switch. You know, I may get it just for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee for Splatoon 2. I would say that there's at least 5 good games. You don't have to get Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch, since you could apparently play it on the Wii U, but you can get Mario Odyssey. That's one game that warrants a hefty asking price. You could get Splatoon 2, which is seemingly also a stellar game. You could get Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee. That's the third game. That's worthwhile. And another game that's meritorious is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And there's probably a fifth game that warrants your time. It lasts over $700 to $750 total. It's definitely a pass, even though you get 9 games and the Switch. The slot doesn't seem too bad. You get the Switch brand new sealed, and Mega Man 11 in conjunction with Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. But if I did have a Switch, I know the games were semi-affordable. I'd likely get Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, Mario Tennis, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and Pikmin 4, when it's released, it likely will be released as a Switch exclusive. That's my arbitrary assumption. It's not going to be on the PlayStation 5 nor next generation Xbox console, whatever the hell they're going to call it. They have amiibos. I guess they're still in production. They haven't lost their luster yet from the collector's perspective, but from my perspective, their heyday is over. They don't have as much global appeal as they once did. They're less of a novelty, and they're just so abundant, and we're so overwhelmed with some amiibos that they lost their charm, their novelty, and the gimmick has essentially worn off. They don't feel as special as they once did when they were released. Kind of like Bionicles. Like with anything in life, you become jaded, and items lose their novelty appeal after a while, especially as trends fade. This Donkey Kong has pink fur. Yeah, this Meta Knight looks evil and cunning and conniving. These look like bootleg amiibo figures, but they're not. They're custom painted. This is something that's a little bit more unique that I'd be inclined to get if I were an avid devout Nintendo fan. I do love a myriad of Nintendo products, but I don't love them enough to buy custom-made amiibos. If these amiibos were 6 inches tall and possessed ample points of articulation, then I'd buy them. I mean, their sculpts are high quality to say the least, and their shadings, their decos, their textures are eminently refined to say the least. But at the $13 price point, as 4-inch figures relegated to static poses, they're definitely a must-pass. In spite of their novelty factor, aesthetic appeal, and beauty. Damn. I would say that this would be a worthwhile deal. You get 2 Bomberman games, Rayman Legends, and Cartoon Network Battle Crashers. That's the first time I heard of that game. But these are just replacement cases. You don't actually get the games, so that's definitely a must pass. Yeah, so I'm definitely unequivocally disappointed. I'm sick of Proud and on and on and on with the same damn thing. This Bill Coblin would make a great army builder figure if he could actually move. They kind of remind me of Hero Clips figures. I think it's called Hero Clicks or Hero Clips. I think probably Hero Clips. Just because they're like static action figures that are smaller than 67-inch figures. Yeah, so all the deals we stumbled upon didn't feel like deals. None of them were stellar. All of them, in my opinion, were at best mediocre to abysmal. And the reason I would say mediocre is because you're able to get relatively newer games for under their retail prices, but that doesn't necessarily correlate or denote. That doesn't correlate with a good deal, and it certainly doesn't denote a stellar deal. But hopefully in 2019 we can get some mediocre Nintendo Switch video game loss listed. But at the moment, the loss listed are unequivocally overpriced. And don't offer enough video games, peripherals, and additional items to truly warrant their asking prices. So all these lots are definitely a must pass for me. It's disappointing, but it is what it is. This lot is interesting, but because the show is going to pay $75 for Mario Odyssey and Nintendo Switch, I guess over 107 people, or 108 people to be technical, have bought that lot. $150 for two games that are retailed for $60. I guess their prices are being inflated. I like deflation, not inflation. I want my dollars to rise, not plunge in purchasing power. So I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and insightful. Hopefully my findings can be a little bit more fruitful in the coming decades. I wonder what the price points will be if I search for Nintendo Switch video game loss in 2025 or 2030. That'd be a good follow-up video to this video, because in 2018 there's no stellar deals. I tried to search for stellar deals on Nintendo Switch video game loss, but I couldn't find a single one, so I'm definitely disappointed. Yeah, these games just look abysmal to mediocre at best. That Rocket League game is alright and it's blessed to play, even though I never played it. However, just doesn't warrant the asking price of over $130, over $132 for this lot. This lot is at the moment $132.50. It comes with 8 factory sealed games. With the cellophane intact, apparently. But these are just third-party titles. With a Fortnite game, you just get a download code. You know, the whole thing is just disappointing. So I hope that you found this video to be enthralling, bedazzling, insightful, informative, and of course engrossing. Have a wonderful, blissful, marvelous, glorious day. Goodbye.